Now, just before we run through how to set up upfront reviews, I just wanted to point out that review requests will only be sent to guests for bookings received direct. So those that receive them via channels, things like Airbnb and Booking.com, for example, they will not get the request to review. Rather, we suggest that you use the review function that is built within that channel. The reason why is because it gives you a build-up of reviews on each of your different channels. So each of the different channels that you connect to will have their own marketing source, and it's quite useful to have it distributed and be seen in a number of platforms. Okay, so what I'm going to next do is show you a short video of us basically setting up the first stage of upfront reviews in an actual SuperControl account. The video is going to show you how to set up the section in your account, setting the image, setting the description, scheduling the requests, and setting locations.
So to set up your upfront reviews, you go to Integrations, Upfront Reviews, and Settings. From here, you will see this screen, and you initially will set the image. So you click on this, choose a file from your computer, put a picture in, and press Save. This has uploaded an image, and you'll see it's to change image, preview, or delete it and put another one in. Next, you would go to the View Set Description. You can see I've got something typed in there. Type in a little description and press Save. And then in here, we would set how often you want the review email to go out to the guest. I would like to send it 2 days after departure. And finally, set the locations: in Scotland, in Dumfriesshire, and in Kirkcudbrightshire, and the Save button at the bottom that's just out of the shot. This is the initial setup, and we'll move on to part 2 of this in just a second.
Once you've completed those stages, you can move on to enabling your properties. So you can set any custom questions, because as we mentioned, you can add your own questions in. We do recommend that you keep these to a minimum though, because then you get the maximum response. Nobody really wants to sit and answer a lot of questions through a review. And then finally, we'll show you previewing it of what will be sent to your guest. So again, I've just recorded a little short video that Brenda will play in the next slide just to explain how to do this.
So once you've set up your images, your descriptions, scheduled when they need to go, and your locations, we're going to move on to enabling the properties, which we do next to the properties down here, and use this enabled button. And it's so simple as putting the ticks in, and you can see it came up as saved as we did it. Next, you would check if you needed to do any custom questions, which is here, add custom questions. And you can see I've already got one in. I can add another one for you. Custom questions, would you return? Type your question in. Make it a text box so they can yes or no, or put a bit of information in. Make it required and add the question. And it's added it up here. So then we go back to the settings page, the custom questions are added, your property is enabled, everything's good to go. So we can now preview the request to send the email, and this will bring up what your guest is going to receive at whatever you set in here 2 days after.
We also can display the reviews on your website. So they appear either through your API feed, if you're using the SuperControl API, or you can put an upfront review widget in place. So these are what are showing on the screen at the moment. If you're using an API feed, you and your web developer, you can choose how your reviews are displayed. If you're using a JavaScript box, it will show you the last 6 reviews, the most recent ones, and you can set them up like these 3 that are displayed on the screen. So the first one is the standard widget. The second one, as you can see, is slightly wider, so we call that the wide widget. And then the last one is a mini widget. You can see it doesn't give quite as much information, but it's still got your scores on it. To get your widget code, this is again under your integrations upfront reviews widgets. You can display this against any property by using those on the previous slide. And you just need to basically send the code that's shown on the screen at the moment to your web developer,